What's up everybody, this is Army Boy here, and today I am going to be doing a review on World of Warcraft. Now, it's been quite a while since I've done a World of Warcraft video, and I thought, you know what, I play it quite a bit, so I might as well start making a review on it. So, this is that review. Now, I'm going to go straight ahead and say World of Warcraft is not the best MMO you can play, and considering that it is also a pay-to-play game, that's something else that you do need to bear in mind if you're ever thinking about starting up on World of Warcraft. It is £10 a month, unless of course you illegally download it, in which case fuck you. Fucking pay for that shit, for God's sake. You know, don't illegally download. It's not it's fuck you if you fucking do that. But anyway, it's probably not the best MMO you can play. There are some better ones on Steam that I would recommend if you've never played an MMO before, because this one, it ain't the best. It's pretty good, but it's not perfect. So I'm going to run over quite a lot of things in this review. I'm currently playing on my level 65 Undead Hunter. I have 3 characters now, I believe, on World of Warcraft. I have this guy, a level 85 orc, who's a warrior, and a warlock who I haven't really done much with. He's only level 11, but that doesn't matter. I think after I get this character I'm playing now to 85, I'm gonna change and maybe go to a rogue, but I don't know. I'll see how I feel when I get there. I've still got a little way to go yet. So, first thing I want to talk about is the leveling in this game. You have to admit it. You know, doesn't matter how long you've been playing World of Warcraft for, you level up way too quickly in this. For it to be, you know, rated as a brilliant MMO, you level up too fast. It's a fact in this game. I know there's an offer at the moment where you can play till level 20 and it's free. Now, I would recommend that if you was going to think about starting playing, but you could do that in about 4 hours, I think. To level 20 is 4 hours of game time, and that's like if you didn't know what you were doing. If you knew exactly what you were doing, you played MMOs before, you might even get there in like 2.5 hours, but you do level up so quickly. I mean, I'm level 65 on this character now. I think at the start of the week I was like 59 maybe, and it's Sunday today, so within a week of playing, you know, I probably do play every day, but sometimes that will only be for an hour, half an hour, that sort of thing. So it's not like I play it every day for like 7 hours a day, which I know some people do, but I'm not like that. I'm actually looking for something at the moment, but I'm not quite sure what. But either way, you do level up very quickly, and I think it is a problem with the game. Like, if you play Forsaken World, which is a free-to-play MMO very similar to World of Warcraft, like, it could take months, literally, to get up a level in that. Once you start hitting the really high levels, it would seriously take like a month. Level 70 to like 71, it could take a fucking month, and that's with grinding XP every day for like 3 hours a day. So you do level up way too quickly. You can hit a level cap for one expansion pack one day, install the next one, and hit the level cap for that one in the same day. That is how fast it is possible to level up. Brilliant. This was what I was looking for, and they haven't got what I want. Oh, that's just fantastic. Okay, never mind. I might fly back to town, actually. It's a good idea. Hold on, how many of these things do I have? I'll get some more. Okay, moving on. Next thing is grinding. Now, a lot of people had this complaint with MMOs where it's like, I don't like grinding things. Yeah, I can understand that, you know, grinding can get a bit boring when you're doing like the same thing for 4 hours or something. However, in World of Warcraft, I wouldn't say there was much grinding. This goes for everything pretty much across the board. Money, you know, you gain money through doing pretty much everything in the game. And if you're smart, then you're going to sell the crap that you don't need. If you pick up any junk in dungeons, you know, you'll sell that. You'll always be getting money from loot and stuff like that. So, grinding there isn't really a lot of. Probably the most grindable thing in this is the honor points and the courage points, which don't really even come into the game until much higher levels. As you can see, I'm not earning the courage points yet because I'm not high enough level. I think they're called courage points. I can't quite remember. Maybe they're... yeah. Those are honor points. What's the other thing? Hold on. I can't even fucking see them yet. Okay, but anyway, you get honor points through the PvP aspect, doing battleground stuff like that. That is probably the most grindable thing, as well as materials, which is what I'm doing at the moment. I've got a level working profession, which I'm trying to get up, therefore I'm having to grind a little bit for materials. But even that, you know, it doesn't take too long. Once you've got enough stuff, you'll move on to like a different material, and you will have to start grinding that one, unfortunately. But most of the time, grinding, you know, you won't find yourself doing hours of it, to be honest. And there's so much more stuff to do other than grinding. Like you can go off, do quests, do dungeons, do whatever you like, you know, and you don't have to physically sit there and grind for hours. That was something I found on Forsaken World. You know, trying to get one level up in a month, grinding XP was like, you did so much daily stuff where it was like you'd done it 100 times before and you could almost do it with your eyes shut. So, but in World of Warcraft, I really don't find that there's much grinding. Okay, next video I want to talk about is the quests. There are a lot of quests in World of Warcraft. You pretty much, as you level up, will follow like a line of quests. Like you'll start off on one quest, which will lead to another, to another, to another set. You know, as you go along, quests will tell you to go to different towns. You'll end up there, and there'll be more to do. So, if you're the questing kind of MMO player, there is a lot of variety in the way of quests, and you can get some sweet gear from it as well. On my warrior account, which I'm not playing on at the moment, I was a bit more quest orientated. However, on this hunter, I've hardly done any, and I'm not even bothering at the moment. Again, because, you know, it's a very fast leveling system, and there's many other ways to level, including dungeons, battlegrounds, that kind of thing. So, you know, if you're not a fan of quests, you don't have to do quests, but if you are, you know, there's no problem with that. There's loads to do in the way of quests. I want to talk about dungeons now. I'm going to queue for one and hopefully get a group. The queue system in this is actually quite good for both battlegrounds and dungeons. It never takes too long, depending on how full and empty the server is. At the moment it's quite full, therefore, you know, average queue time probably not going to be that long. But one thing about the dungeons, they are super easy. Like, you will only fail in a dungeon if you have a group of people that don't know what they're doing, and 9 times out of 10 you will get a group of people who have, you know, half a fucking brain. So unfortunately the challenge has kind of gone from a lot of things in the game, especially dungeons. I find you know, you're almost always going to complete them, kill all the bosses, get all the gear, you know, whereas in Forsaken World, I keep referring back to Forsaken World for some reason, probably because it's the most similar game to this that's free and that I played pretty much. So in that game, like, you had to have a balls to the wall fucking good team to beat some of those dungeons. You know, like I'd probably run a dungeon like 10 or 12 times and maybe beat it twice in those 10 or 12 times. On here, every time nearly you're guaranteed to beat it unless the healer quits or the tank quits or someone quits, which means that you can't carry on, like a necessary team member quits. One other cool thing, you can queue for your specifications. So if you're a tanking class, you can queue as tank. If you're damage, which is what I am, you can queue as damage, or you can queue as healer. So you know, you're never going to find yourself in a situation where you're joining a dungeon with without the necessary people, which again was something that would happen in Forsaken World. You'd end up in a group full of tanks with maybe one healer. It's kind of like, how the fuck does that work? But you don't have that trouble in World of Warcraft, which is nice. I enjoy that. You know, you ain't got to worry about, oh, I hope we get a decent team or whatever. You're always going to have the right people for the right jobs at the right time and all that stuff. Moving on next, Battlegrounds. Now this is a PvP element. I would strongly recommend always signing up to a PvP server. Always have your characters on PvP server. The reason for this, World of Warcraft's logic, or the story basically, shall we say, is based around two, say, factions. I think you would call them factions. Two factions or two teams, one Horde and one Alliance. Basically, the names speak for themselves. Horde are the like evil side, Alliance are the good side, but you know, it doesn't really matter. If you want to, you can read the manual, which tells you the sort of differences between each one. But either way, there's there's definitely two sides on World of Warcraft, the Horde and the Alliance. Now, it makes sense to me to play PvP because then you actually get to fight the other team, basically. Otherwise, you know, you can almost forget that it's a multiplayer game if you're never going to be against other players. So I'd strongly always recommend playing PvP. Battlegrounds are fun as hell. You get some great gear as well with the honor that you earn in Battlegrounds. You know, they're a heck of a lot of fun, and I fucking enjoy playing them. I probably played like 2 Battlegrounds a day when I'm playing. However, you know, it can get a bit grindable as well because there is only so many Battlegrounds you can do. You do unlock better ones as you like progress up through levels, but most of the time you will find yourself grinding on quite a bit, doing the same Battlegrounds over and over and over again. But they're still pretty fun, even when you are grinding for something. It's still an enjoyable thing to do. Okay, moving on, the co-op and multiplayer aspect is something I want to talk about because I do feel as though it has dropped very much since the old World of Warcraft. And by old World of Warcraft, I mean World of Warcraft 6 or 7 years ago. That World of Warcraft. Now, recently they released the Mist of the Panda expansion pack, which had pandas in, and I know a lot of hardcore World of Warcraft fans were like, fucking really, pandas, and gave up with World of Warcraft completely. Now, I can almost like agree with doing that because fucking seriously, why pandas? It goes against all of the other characters completely. Like, you've got elves, blood elves, goblins, undead, tauren, orcs, dwarves, all that kind of cool shit, and then it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna throw in some fucking teddy bears. But my other opinion on it is, if you don't like it, don't play as the panda characters. Like, that's all you've got to do. You don't actually need to play as them. And it's also like a 30, I think it's a £30 still. It may be a bit less, like 25 maybe. It's still a £25 expansion pack, so you're going to be paying a fucking lot of money even if you don't like it. So if you don't like it, don't buy it, don't play as the pandas, you know. And if other people are, who gives a fuck? Yeah, sucks to be them. But anyway, I'm going the wrong way. Oh yeah, the town's back this way. But because of that, a lot of people kind of left World of Warcraft, and I do feel that quite a bit, you know. Main towns and cities is where you're going to see people. Out in the wild, like I am at the moment, you ain't going to see many people, you know. Maybe closer to the town, when I get there I might see someone, but apart from that there ain't going to be a lot, which also does affect the PvP aspect. I don't know why I'm not riding my mount, hold on. Make life a lot easier, go a bit quicker. But this also affects the PvP aspect, because when you're out in the wild and you see someone from the other faction, like, you can attack them, they can attack you, but the chances of actually seeing another person from the faction is quite slim. I've had it happen quite a few times and got into one-on-one fights, which can be pretty fun, especially when you win, because you will get honor even though you're not physically in a battleground. However, they do have to be around your level. So if you kill like a level 10 who's got PvP turned on, you're not going to get any honor. But if you kill someone at your level, then you will get honor for it. Okay, back at town. I need to sort out some new gear that I've got that I have yet to equip. And I can't wear that yet. Oh, I can wear that. I think. Come on. I'm still getting used to the button controls. What did I do? Okay, nothing. Good. Alright, next thing I want to talk about is the world, obviously, because it is World of Warcraft. Now, the world in World of Warcraft is fucking huge. As you can clearly see, it does go on for quite a way. And I believe there's even more than this. I'm not quite sure. But there is a lot of places to go in this game. You will never get bored of all the areas you can discover and explore, which is really, really fun. Different areas obviously unlock when you reach different levels. Some areas are more accessible than others. Some you can fly in when you have the right flying license or the right expansion pack, and when you have a flying mount, which is really fun. But all the areas are fun, dynamic, fun to explore, and look really, really good. Now, World of Warcraft is one of those games that has moved on with the times. It is actually quite an old game. I'm not 100% sure when World of Warcraft came out, but I remember 8 years ago it did not look like this. Okay, it looked a lot more basic, because graphic design was physically more basic back then. However, it has moved on a lot and does look a lot cooler. Obviously, it's going to keep moving on as time goes on, assuming that Blizzard stays open or whatever. But overall, it does look pretty damn awesome, and all the areas that you can explore equally look as awesome. And there's a lot of variety as well, you know. You're not going to find areas that look almost identical. Nearly every area has slight differences and variety within that area. Okay, moving on to the next thing, which I will talk about, which is the mounts. Every MMO has to have mounts because mounts are cool and fun. Something I discovered, which I swear they must have added at a later date because I don't remember this. If you get a mount on one character, it crosses over to all your other ones. So you can literally be like level 25 or whatever level you can start riding mounts. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you can be quite a low level and be riding a high level mount, which is quite an interesting thing. I'll show you in a minute once I've skinned this crocodile majigger. If you go down here where it says mounts and pets, I can play every single mount that I've got on my different characters. Most of them, hey, a dungeon. Most of them came from my my orc warrior anyway, because he had the most money, believe it or not. But it's an interesting thing that you can do that. It's quite handy and useful. Saves you buying like the same mount again, but not a different character. Have I queued for the wrong instance? Oh no, I'm on this one. I wanted to be on that one, but I'm on this one anyway. So yeah, once you join a dungeon, going back to the dungeon things, Everyone's already got a role picked out, so you don't have to like choose a role or assume a role. You pretty much just get told this is what you're doing. Also, I've turned into a human for this instance. I at the moment have all Horde characters. I probably will make an Alliance character at some point, but I just prefer the Horde. I think that their characters are way cooler than the Alliance ones. I just think they look better. Like, why would you play a human character in a game where you can play as something that's completely different from a human? After all, you are a human, so why would you like want to be yourself? You know, I don't know, but I just find the Horde characters look better, move better as well. For some reason, I find the animations of movement on the Horde characters more appealing. I don't know why. I'll demonstrate in a minute when I get off this mount. You'll see that the walk cycle for the human is much different from the undead, probably because his spine isn't crooked, but it just looks weird, and the undead one looks better considering he is a zombie. But anyway, I'll move on to that when we get somewhere. Next thing I want to talk about is the abilities. Now, World of Warcraft is one of those games that has a lot of abilities that you can use. Some of them do make you a little bit overpowered, especially for things like instances, dungeons, that kind of thing. You know, you will have no trouble dispatching enemies, dispatching bosses, things like that. But one other interesting thing, you do get a lot of different abilities. You get a large variety, and you unlock more abilities as you progress through levels. See, hold on. Clear example. It looks weird. Okay, it looks like he's marching. Okay, the undead guy looked a lot more cool and a lot more fluid than this dude does. But anyway, that's just my angry opinion on his walk cycle. But there's a lot of abilities that you use. Obviously, different classes have different abilities. And even within those classes, there are 3 types of class that you can be for each one. So I'm a marksman hunter. There's also, I can't remember off the top of my head the other ones. I can remember that there's 3 types of warrior. There's a protection warrior, arms warrior, and the other one which escapes me that I can't remember. Fury, that was it. That's where you can dual wield 2 weapons at once. Protection one is pretty much the tank, and arms one is 2-handed weapons damage, which is what my warrior is. But so there's a lot of variety in terms of abilities and sort of almost paths that you can take as each class. So you could have 3 hunters, yet each hunter is different, because one could be a marksman one, and one could be the other 2, which I can't remember. But you get the basic idea. There's lots of ways that you can go. You don't all have to have the same characters with the same abilities. And yeah, there is literally loads of ways you can go, which is something that I find quite fun and amusing. It also adds a lot of replayability to the game. You're not just going to make one class of one character and just stick with that for like ever. You know, you're going to try different ones, try out different characters, different classes, different factions. You know, change sides, maybe go on Horde, go on Alliance, that kind of thing. Which is something that you wouldn't normally get in a cheaper or a free MMO. Overall, and as a final verdict for World of Warcraft, I would give it a 6 out of 10. Because, to be honest, it is a fun MMO, and you're probably not going to get something this good with this much variety for free. Unless, of course, you illegally download it. But the basic concept is there's loads to do. It's a lot of fun. However, it is expensive, and you are paying for it monthly if you know, buy the game properly. But for what it's worth, you're not going to get anything that's this good for free. The amount of variety and the things you can do are going to keep you playing for a long time. I mean, I don't know when I'm going to get bored of World of Warcraft. Occasionally I do stop playing for a little bit, you know, to play a different game or try something else out. But overall, I enjoy playing World of Warcraft. I'd probably do play it once per day, even if that is only for a little while. One thing I forgot to mention, which I was supposed to mention at the start, maybe I'll edit this back in, you know, towards the start or whatever. But there's an offer on at the moment. It's probably still going on, where World of Warcraft is free to play until level 20. You will reach that level cap so fast, it's almost not worth doing that. If you played an MMO before, if you're gonna play it, just play it. Don't be like, oh yeah, I want to try it out until level 20. Only do that if you've never played an MMO before, because you do level up too quickly to be able to do that. Okay, so that concludes my review on World of Warcraft. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share this video, because it does take me a long time to edit and make videos. I have a lot of other shit I have to do. But cheers for watching. I'm Army Boy, and this is World of Warcraft. Cheers for watching. Okay, thanks, bye.